From the shadows of the Wasatch Front to the shores of the Great Salt Lake, you're listening to the Wynn to Scott Report, presented by UteFans.net, the original home for Ute fans.
Hello, hi, how are you? Welcome to the Wynn to Scott Report, presented by UteFans.net. I'm Andy Brown, and I'm joined by former Utah wide receiver Kenneth Scott and former Utah quarterback Jordan Wynn. How's it hanging, guys?
What's up?
Hanging good.
How we doing?
So Utah had a nice win over the Buffaloes this past Saturday, winning 28-13 in their regular season finale and improving to 9-3 overall and 8-1 in Pac-12 play. I should mention, last week I said I refused to bet on this game. I'd like to point out that even though Jordan and K. Scott laughed in my face, I was right. 15-point victory when the spread was 24 for Utah. Anyway, moving on.
Had to throw that out there.
So,
moving on.
So, K. Scott, what are your initial thoughts on the CU game?
Yeah, man, I thought it was a good game coming off from a really big game that we had last week. You know, early on, we had that interception. I was like, oh, come on. And then right after that, the next possession was a missed field goal. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a long one, huh? But, you know, things got better over time. We started being more efficient. Defense locked things down. Like we were talking about in the pre-recording, if it wasn't for that, you know, kickoff return, you know, it probably would have been way more as far as the point spread have been way wider. But, you know, nonetheless, we did well. Special teams, I think, could have been a little bit better, especially with our field goal unit and our kickoff coverage team. But other than that, you know, our defense played really well, and we won the game. That's most important.
Jordan, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, winning is most important, like K. Scott said. Some things to clean up, obviously, in special teams. Even you watch that kick return touchdown. I know a lot of people give Sharif Shaw a lot of grief. He's the special teams coordinator, but like two dudes bounced off the guy. Like if you just wrap him up, it's the guy's tackled at like the 20. So that was kind of more of an execution letdown than a scheme letdown. But defensively, they played lights out, right? They didn't give up a touchdown on that side of the football, which is always incredible, especially when the first series of the game you throw a pick and they run it back basically to the red zone. So I thought defense was lights out. Offensively, there's definitely some things to clean up, particularly the failed fourth downs. I thought was a kind of black eye on the game. But other than that, again, you know, coming off of a big win, you avoided the letdown with really a meaningless game. I mean, we're already going to Vegas. You came away, I think, with no injuries, really. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I know Bam was down for a little bit, but
he came back, so he could.
Yeah, I think they came away relatively unscathed, which is important. And now it's full speed ahead for Friday in Vegas.
So let's jump right in here. Let's start with the offense. Let's see what happened. We came out, like we talked about, we came out flat this game with Rising throwing an interception, which was his first since October 16th. That was on the Utes' first drive of the game. Utah also did not score any points in the first quarter for the first time since playing Wazoo on September 25th. After the first quarter, the Utes offense scored touchdowns on 4 of its next 5 drives. The tight ends were big contributors again, with Keith getting Utah on the scoreboard in the second quarter, and then Dalton Kincaid scoring shortly thereafter. Both of those drives were less than 3 minutes. So following a kick return for a touchdown by Colorado to start the second half, the Utes put together their most impressive drive of the game after 2 stellar completions by Rising and a 12-yard touchdown run by Tavion Thomas. Utah forced the Buffaloes to punt after that and scored another touchdown, going up 28-13. So how about that catch by Britton Covey? You know, the one 33 yards down the sideline. He got lit up on that play, by the way, by that CU cornerback, but managed to hang on to the ball. That's my favorite play, I think. And then 3rd and 5 from Colorado's 13-yard line. Cam Rising started to run toward the end zone, but he was met by 2 defenders, which freed up Covey, who scored on a toss by Rising. So the points scored was the fastest scored by the Utes. Excuse me, fewest is the right word there. Fewest scored by the Utes since September 25th against Washington State. Rising was 14 for 23 for 179 yards and 3 touchdowns with 1 interception. Tavion Thomas he rushed for 141 yards and a touchdown, and TJ Pledger rushed for 103 yards. Covey led the team with 72 receiving yards and a touchdown. K. Scott, what do you think about the offense this game?
Kind of like I said in the overview, man, I thought they, did well managing it. The tight ends, they did their thing as far as Kincaid and also Keithy in the receiving end, and then Fathering, he does good as far as the blocking end. So, they cover all aspects. And then our running backs, man, Pleasure and Thomas, they went buck wild, man. I was like, God, dog, dudes is some beast back there. Thomas is the beast. And then you got Thunder and Lightning. There we go. Thunder and Lightning back there. Receiving wise, of course we have Cubby with a big game. However, I would like to see more receivers getting into the action, man. It's one of those things that, I'm probably gonna keep on saying over and over and over and over again. But, it's one of those things that I would love to see. I know I'm biased towards the receivers, but something I would love to see moving forward, just giving them more opportunities on the outside to make plays. But, Rising had 3 tutties, 3 touchdowns, man. Good. Had a crazy interception that he probably wish he wants back, but, he was trying to thread something in the hole. But, you can't fault him. But offensively, we did our job. We did what we had to do, and we put up points. So, for me, I think we did a good job.
Jordan, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent performance. 28 points is not ideal, right? I think you need to score over 30. Fortunately for the Utes, Colorado's offense is not good. They fired their offensive coordinator today. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Colorado fired them.
Oh, wow.
I think it was the fewest yards they've averaged in a season since like 1964. So their offense isn't good, and they were missing a lot of guys. But offensively, I think they did their job, right? Like they scored when they needed to, and the one turnover was kind of a weird deal. I thought Cam had, I think it was Covey across the middle. They kind of ran a deep crossing concept, and kind of looked like he locked into Keithy a little bit, and then the ball just sailed on him right to the safety. But I mean, overall, like they were, pretty good on third down. 6 of 12, 50%. That's good. They're staying on the football field. They ran for 265, solid. 2 backs over 100, solid. So I mean, it was a decent performance, nothing stellar. I would imagine they were probably pretty vanilla with just the game that it was. Like they didn't really need to do a whole lot, and they don't want to show anything for this week. And so overall, just, decent performance, got the job done, and you move on.
Okay, Scott, how about we pull out the bat signal?
How about it? Sue, I'm ready for it. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
We're not ready. We're not ready.
Oh, you're not ready. But you know what? This week, I'm going to have to give it to Keithy, man. It was a tie between Keithy and Kincaid because I love their routes on those touchdown plays. So I'm going to have to go with Keithy, though. The reason why, he was in the slot, he ran the 5-yard out, stuck it back vertically over the defender. Nice the thing I love most is the catch. Like it was like so fluid and effortlessly, like the ball was a line drive and he just naturally it just stuck right there. So that's my bat signal play of the game. Beautiful route, beautiful catch. It's just very smooth and fluid on my end. He barely edged out Kincaid on the bat signal for this week, but got to give it to my man Keithy.
So let's assess the defense, which was incredibly dominant, as we kind of touched on a little bit earlier. So I'd say Utah had a really, really strong showing, only giving up 6 of the Buffs' 13 points. The Utes held Colorado to just 148 yards of offense, which was 84 yards passing and 64 rushing yards.
You ain't getting no offensive commits this week after that one.
No. Colorado's sole touchdown came on that kickoff return to start the second half. 3 of the points the D allowed came after the Buffs were given excellent field position after Cam's interception in the first series. which put CU on the Utah 15-yard line. What happened next, though? Well, that set the tone for Utah's defense the remainder of the evening. Utah stuffed Colorado running back Alex, is it Fontenot, I think?
Yep.
Then forced 2 incompletions, holding the Buffs to a field goal. The only other points scored by Colorado were in a short field when the Utes failed on a 4th down conversion near the end of the first half, and Colorado went 39 yards in 9 plays. Brendan Lewis converted a pair of 3rd downs on the ground, but Utah forced the Buffs into a 56-yard field goal attempt, which that guy made it.
Yeah. He piped it.
Yeah.
Piped that
I was
thing.
like, dang.
That thing was good from 70.
That was a good kick. It should be mentioned that the Buffaloes were plagued with injuries, missing key players Jarek Broussard and leading receiver Brendan Rice. Lewis was 9 for 23 for only 84 yards and was sacked 4 times. Fontenot was Colorado's leading rusher with 28 yards.
Man.
Nephi Sewell and Devin Lloyd stood out again. Sewell had 10 tackles with 1 tackle for loss, while Lloyd had 9 tackles with a sack. Clark Phillips III and Zamiah Vaughn had a few nice pass breakups, and Hayden Fury had 2 pass breakups. Lloyd, Tafua, Fillinger, and Vimahi each had a sack. Exceptional performance by the defense. Oregon should be very worried about the Utes D this Friday.
Very, very.
So, Jordan, what are your thoughts on the D this last game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were dominant, right? I think the only thing missing was a turnover, not forcing any turnovers, which kudos to those guys. They held on the football, and they knew what their game plan was, right? Trying to keep the thing close, avoid the big mistake, and kind of get it to the 4th and see what happens. But, I mean, defensively, even just coming out of the gate for Cam to throw a pick that gets ran back, and they buckled down and they didn't even give up an inch, I don't think. And even the failed 4th down right before half, I mean, you make the guy make a 56-yarder, right? Like they really didn't give up a ton. For a back to have 25 yards is not fun. That guy didn't have a fun night. The QB didn't have a fun night. He kept having to get scraped off the field. I'm shocked that guy kept playing, truthfully. There were a few times where he was like laying there like motionless, and I'm like, dude, do they have anybody else? Like this, why do you keep sending this guy back out there? So kudos to that guy. That dude's tough. Brandon Lewis, tough. Like some of those shots he was taking, they were all over him all day. He was running around, throwing it away. So they did a good job. They created pressure. Held the Buffs offense to 2 field goals, and really both of those were, well, at least the one was on a short field. So I thought the defense looked fantastic. And Oregon knows that. I mean, they only gave up 7 points to Oregon, and that was really, kind of coming out of the half when the game was, pretty out of reach in my mind. So the tough test, right, is can you do it again on Friday? So I like the Utes, and I like the Utes defense, and always will, as long as Kyle's at the helm, especially. So dominant performance. They got to feel really good going into this week.
Yeah.
You clean up those other 2 phases, and it could be a fun Friday night.
Hey, Scott, what are your thoughts, man?
Friday night in Vegas.
Hey.
Nice play.
Just on the offense from the CU game.
Nah, but like Jay Wynn said, man, I really thought the defense played exceptionally well. I look at a couple plays, especially on the back end, as far as Clark Phillips on the deep ball where he deflected it out of the guy's hands in the end zone. I love his swagger. And then also Z Vaughn, that one play where they threw it up to the guy. I thought he caught the ball, and Z Vaughn came right behind him and knocked the ball loose, which is freaking phenomenal. The dude's a freshman. Clark Phillips is a sophomore, freshman, whatever he is. He's young. The whole defense is young. So it's like the potential I see on these guys for the future is ridiculous. So like Jay Wynn said, the defense was, spectacular, did some things that they always do, to be honest. But the turnover aspect, if they can get a couple more hands on the few of those balls, and also ripping out some balls too, that'll be pretty great, especially going into next week. Going into Oregon, they're going to be hyped. We're not going into Oregon. Going to Vegas, playing against Oregon. Oregon's going to be hyped for the revenge. We're going to make sure they do everything possible to run up the score at least by 50 to get that bad taste out of their mouth. So we got to do everything, especially on defensive wise, to get the ball back to our offense. So, but nonetheless, defense did what they always do, which is play dominant.
So lastly, let's cover special teams. Obviously, they had an amazing showing against the
Not just
Ducks.
Yeah.
Against the Ducks last week, but they took a big step backwards against Colorado. Jaden Redding's only field goal attempt of the game, a 37-yarder, was blocked by Terrence Lang. We gave up a 100-yard kick return touchdown. Utah's third allowed kick return for a touchdown this season. The Utes missed multiple tackles on the return. Britton Covey had 31 yards on 4 punt returns, including a 16-yard return plus a 29-yard kickoff return. Michael Williams had his longest punt of the season at 50 yards on his only punt of the game. Kenneth, thoughts on special teams against Colorado?
Field goal wise, man, we got to get that tightened up because we never know when a game could come down to that, and we got to be like for sure that we can rely on that. So field goal wise, got to make sure that our coverage wise, we haven't got any punt return, like big, huge punt returns on us. But as far as the kickoff return coverage, we have to get better on that piece because that is a game changer for sure, for sure. So special teams wise, it can be a lot better. I think punt we do well on, punt return we do well on. We just got to make sure our field goal unit is good and also that kick return. But nonetheless, got to sharpen it up for next week.
Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I think, special teams plays are such big momentums. You go back to that game against Colorado, if they don't run that kickback, I mean, what do they even do on offense? So we got to tighten that up. Again, that one wasn't a lack of strategy. It was a lack of execution. You got to wrap up, and it's tough. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but, that's why you're out there on the field, and you got to make that play when the moment's there. So, and then, things getting blocked, punts blocked, field goals blocked. That stuff's got to get shored up. Like K. Scott said, going into Friday, if it came down to like a game-winning field goal, I don't think Ute fans would feel very strongly about it. We don't want it to get to that. So that's something that needs to, again, you just got to keep shoring it up. Covey's so electric in the return game, you don't really worry about that phase. It's just right on our side. So, got to clean it up. We're fortunate that neither of those, the field goal block or the kick return, really played into the game, the overall result. But man, you play a team, you play an Oregon team like you're going to get this Friday, and you allow something like that, is going to be tough. And so got to clean it up. It's got to be better. Has to be better if you want to win this week.
All right, everyone, it's time for the best 30 seconds of your week. Jordan, what time is it, man?
Man, it's that winning moment time. Cue the graphic. Cute.
Winning moment.
I just realized, by the way, I have a door in the background of my screen. Sorry, guys. We're doing some home renovations. Awesome backdrop for the podcast today, by the way. Put a lot of thought into that one.
Off the hinges.
Man. My winning moment, again, it was kind of just a little bit of a lackluster game, I would say. So there was no scores in the fourth. They came out and ran the kickback to come out of halftime. So the winning moment for me is the flip to Covey. I think that was a big drive. That was a big touchdown to kind of put it to 2 scores and kind of ease the tension a little bit. Cam did a great job of moving and eluding the rush and getting out of the pocket, and he did a good job of remaining a passer. If you watch the clip, I mean, he's trying to run and then draws the defenders up and remains a passer and flips it to Covey. Sweet play, a lot of fun. Fans had a lot of fun watching it. Covey gets the score on his pseudo senior night. He's a junior at age 35. Scored. Britton, I love you. But no, I think that was the winning moment. I think from there, the game was out of reach. The way defense was playing. Huge play, a very not on schedule, right? Like moving off the launch point, not a hey, take a 3-step drop, bang a post in there. Nothing like that. This is move around, make a play with your feet, remain a passer, kind of a wonky delivery flip to Covey, and it results in 6. So that was the winning moment for me.
So let's talk the Pac-12 championship game. The spread at this point is Utah 3. Oregon just came.
Hammer the -3. Andy, hammer the -3.
-3.
Utes, take it. Book it.
to the
Hey,
bank.
I'm feeling confident about this
Whoa,
one.
he's feeling confident.
Hey, that's not probably not a good sign. It's
Oh, man.
jinxing it. So
Man.
anyway, Oregon just came off of a fairly close contest against Oregon State in the Civil
They're
War.
going to play the Wynn to Scott report, your clip in the Oregon locker room now. They're going to go, Andy's feeling confident. Oh, no.
We're going to win.
Hey, man, I hate to say it, but Utah has a bit of a reputation that precedes them for not showing up for the big ones.
This is
Although
true.
we did just take the number 3 Ducks to the woodshed the other week. I know. But what do you guys think about this game? It's always hard to beat a good team twice. How does Utah punch their ticket to Pasadena? Jordan.
Like I said, going into the Oregon game, I think if you couldn't have beaten them at home, then you probably don't feel good about them beating them in Vegas. So I agree, it is tough to beat a team twice. There's no doubt about it, especially a good football team like Oregon is. They're a good football team. But look, you gotta go do it. This is what you want. I mean, I think a lot of you. I think a lot of you fans were like, can we get Wazoo or can we get Oregon State? No, man, give us the Ducks again. Give us the best team. They're the best team in the North. Give it to us again. I don't think the game plan needs to. Obviously, you got to throw in some wrinkles, but it's like you go back and watch the Oregon game. It's not like we ran flea flicker, double reverse pass, fake reverse kick return. We just beat them flat out. Yep. So you got to feel good going into it. The Ducks are going to come in with their hair on fire. They're coming in for revenge. They've spoiled our championship game before, but look, we're not in Santa Clara this year. We're in Vegas, and I expect you fans to travel well. And look, just stick to the game plan. You don't need to do anything special. You don't need to do anything crazy. Do what you did 2 weeks ago. Play good defense. Play good special teams again. Win all 3 phases, and let's wrap this thing up. Put a bow on it and head to Pasadena. Man,
let's go. That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop.
All right. K. Scott.
That's a mic drop, man. God, dog, man. Like, what do you say after that? Like, honestly, what do you say after that?
You say, suit up, put my helmet on. Where's my helmet?
It's time, baby.
Man.
Speaking of helmet, I do need to reach out to the Utes equipment because I never got a helmet. Now, I seen everybody else with their
I got
helmets.
my helmet. I got my helmet right up here.
Oh, must be nice. Be nice. I was like, hold on, we get helmets? Didn't even know. Now I'm requesting that helmet at Oregon. Like, I'm gonna request that one.
Oh,
like, but nah, man, man, like Jay Wynn said, stick to the game plan. Don't do nothing outrageous. Don't do nothing beside yourself. Man, what worked 2 weeks ago will work again because we just man on man, we just manhandled them. Like, that's simple and plain. And the weather wasn't too much effect when they were at Utah, so that ain't an excuse. I mean, you could say the elevation, but I mean, that don't play too much of an excuse either. So I'm excited, man. I think we're gonna come out. We're gonna have our hair firing too, because they whooped our ASS in 2019. So we want that same revenge. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
We gonna come back and we're gonna do our thing, man, because we got something to prove as well. So once we beat them, we're gonna go to the Rose Bowl and we're gonna whoop up on Michigan for the 3rd time, or Ohio State. We're gonna get them the Blues and with Urban Meyer in attendance.
Let's go.
I'm already speaking into it.
Let's go. Hey, Utah, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. How far has the program come?
Yeah, and Urban Meyer's gonna be there on the sideline, and he gonna wish he was on the Utah sideline because I bet you're gonna be on the Ohio State sideline. We still won't beat him.
Man, you know it. I will say one other thing to add to watch Friday night. Watch out for Kayvon Thibodeau because we put the clamps on him 2 weeks ago. Clamped him up. Watch out for him early on. I think Lud's got to come out. Just throw a bunch of looks at him again. Read him, cut him, send a chipper back. Like, just put a lot of guys on that guy early on. Don't let that guy affect the game early.
You ain't lying.
Don't let that guy get going.
You guys, I'm kind of scared. I'm not feeling very good.
What? You just said you're feeling optimistic.
I changed my mind after hearing you talk about it. Now I'm
Oh
scared.
my gosh.
I'm like kind of anxious, you know, like I
I'm
don't know what
sending
to do
your
about
clip.
this.
I'm sending your clip of optimism to the Ducks.
I think we should end the show early, man. I'm not doing very well, you know. Like this is hard for me. My poor, broken, tattered Ute fan heart can't take this. If we lose, like I don't know what I'll do with myself.
Hey.
Probably cheer for SC next season or something.
Nah, man, get out of here. They're in they're not Santa Clara. We're not Santa Clara. We're in Vegas. First time in Vegas. All right.
And we haven't lost in Vegas.
Hey.
I don't think so. I mean, every Vegas Bowl, we went to like 17 of them.
We did lose the 1 year.
Boise State.
I remember one year. Jordan remembers.
Boise State. Yeah. Hey,
Boise
but that team was cold, though.
They were good. They were good. They were good.
Oh, man. I was on the sideline with my crutches.
I was on the sideline in my sling. I was just fresh off the surgery, sitting there right there with you, wondering what the heck's going on, man.
Yeah, that game was cold. I ain't gonna lie. That was a good game. I was watching like a fan, like, damn, they good.
So we're just about at the end of our show here. Remember, if you have any winter coats lying around you'd like to donate to our clothing drive, we'd love to have your support. All the coats go to the homeless population of Salt Lake City. Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of the Wynn to Scott Report on UteFans.net. We look forward to hearing your questions on Twitter, and we'll see you next week after the Pac-12 championship game.
Let's go.
Go Utes, roast the Ducks.
Thanks for listening to the Wynn to Scott Report, presented by UteFans.net. Join us next time for more exclusive insider analysis from two of your favorite former players. We are the original home for Ute fans.